All right, welcome everyone to Trade Talk Tuesday. So this is my new weekly live stream where we are going to go through the Bitcoin, the altcoin market, and the Forex market. Now, if you are new to the channel, my name is Jonatan Randin, but most of you probably know me as Libs42. I am the co-founder of RLZ Trading, the trading community where we help you simplify your path to trading greatness. So today we have a 1 hour live stream ahead of us, and we are going to start off with taking a look at Bitcoin for about 5 to 10 minutes. We are then going to go into the next section, which is the community update, where I will go through what's happening in the RLZ trading community. And I will also go through two members' questions, which should be really good for all of you here watching to check out, because we're going to go through one altcoin setup, and I'm going to show what invalidated that setup. And then I'm going to answer some questions from one of my program students as well. And then after that, we're going to go and take a look at the altcoin market for about 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes of Forex market analysis. And then at the end, if we do have any questions, we are going to cover all of that as well. So let's just jump right into the chart right here. We have let's open up Bitcoin. And guys, if you do have any questions, please let me know in the chat, and I will make sure to answer all your questions at the end of the video, or if I have time earlier when we're doing the Q&A Q&A session. Let me see. I think I have YouTube up playing in the background because I'm getting an echo. Yes, I have. So let's turn that down. And guys, remember to hit the like button. It really helps me and it really helps the channel grow if you hit that like button. So very, very much appreciated. Now let's cover Bitcoin here. So is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? A lot of you are probably asking that, right? I mean, we have moved we had very strong bullish move here from Bitcoin from the bounds of that range EQ area right there. And that move just completely shattered the range highs at around 25K. And as soon as we broke above that 25K region, we had a massive like FOMO-ish pump all the way up to the 29K region. We're currently trading at 28K. And let's add the slingshot indicator right here. And we are currently testing the weekly open as resistance. And what I'm thinking is, obviously, if you look at the resistance area here, or it's resistance area right now around that weekly open. Let's create a zone here, and we should probably have, if you use the the candle closes, try to get a good horizontal zone in, and you're going to use that wick right here. See that it's a pretty good looking horizontal area right here, and the weekly open just fits perfectly in that area. Now of course it's Tuesday, so the weekly open has more meaning towards the end of the week, when you had more time to more time for the market to accept that level. But now right here we see that it's actually also it has a very strong correlation with a price action level, the horizontal level right here. And it is looking fairly strong right here. So we might actually see Bitcoin break out here. And if we do see a breakout and a reclaim of the weekly open area, I do think that we are going to see that push up towards 29K. But it's important to remember that the area between 28K and 29K is still a very obvious resistance area. So whatever happens inside this zone, it's still going to be a very, very important resistance area. So whatever you do, maybe not the best thing to do to buy Bitcoin at current prices. So is it too late to buy Bitcoin? I would say for this move, yeah, it's pretty much too late. I think the time to buy Bitcoin, and you've had time to buy Bitcoin, and I've been talking about this for a very long time. As soon as Bitcoin broke below 20K, which happened in June, last year, I activated my dollar cost average strategy for Bitcoin, which was basically thinking that how much do I want to invest in Bitcoin, and then I divided that up in weekly purchases. So I'm buying Bitcoin every weekend while in this range. And as long as Bitcoin stays in this accumulation range, I'm just going to be accumulating Bitcoin. And on this dip right here, I bought more than what I usually do. And on this dip right here, I bought even more. So I can now say that I have a fairly good position on Bitcoin with an average entry of around 20K, which I'm very happy with. So I'm not going to be selling that position anytime soon. But will I be buying more Bitcoin here? No, I will not be buying more Bitcoin at current prices. However, I might take a trade from this region to this region if we do have a nice break and retest, right? So yeah, 90 days. Yeah, it's funny. It is funny. I mean, 90 days to 1 million. I mean, I think we got how many days do we have left? 85 days to 1 million. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? I'm all for that. I mean, if that's gonna happen, let's go. I'm all for that. But it's not gonna happen. Where will I buy more Bitcoin? Well, I have a fairly nice position on Bitcoin right now, so I'm not really looking to aggressively increase my Bitcoin position, but I will be buying more Bitcoin if we do see a nice retest of the 24 or 25K region, which is right here at the breakout level. Now, if we take a look at the fibs of this whole move right here, so we're going to be adding two fibs because there's basically two lows, and there's only one interesting high, but there's two interesting lows, and let me explain what I mean by that. So we add the fib from the first obvious low to the obvious high right here, and what we see is that we have some perfect confluence with the 50% fib level and the previous range high. So I really like that. I really like that we have that nice confluence with the breakout level and the 50% right here. So that will be my area of interest. If we do see a move lower down to the 24K region, the area between 24 and 25, I will be adding to my Bitcoin position. And I also have another idea, which would be more of a swing trade. So this here is like more of a position trade and more of a long-term investing type of entry. But what I'm looking at also on the 4 hour is to fib this move, the breakout move. So usually what I do when I put a fib on the daily, you just go to the daily and you select the obvious low and the obvious high. But if you look at the 4 hour, yes, you could argue that this is one move, but you also see that you have a fairly, a good bounce right here and a rejection here. And you can also see, that you have a low, a high, and this is kind of like a low and then a high. So one could argue that you have one move here, one down move, and then one up move. So you could also put a fib from that low to that high to see if you could get an earlier entry on a swing type of trade on Bitcoin based on those fibs. So if we put the fib from that low to that high, you'll see that the reload zone, the RLZ, comes in very nicely right at this very top right here. So that's something I'm very interested in trading. We can actually add a horizontal box from the candle closes right here to, let's say, the low of the reload zone right here. So it almost perfectly fits with the reload zone. So maybe we're going to see a front running of that higher time frame fib 50% because the reload zone just sits beautifully right above that breakout area. And this is something I usually do when I try to determine which fib levels, which highs and lows are going to be used as the proper anchor for the fib placement. And what I do is I look for a breakout move. If you have price hitting a strong resistance area right here, this is obviously a fake out, but that fake out creates a high of this move. And here we have another move because that is the breakout move. And if you look at the daily, you could definitely see that the move that broke the level, it started here. It didn't really start down here because that's a move, fake out, and then it kind of gathered more energy, and then it's broke above that resistance zone. So that's how I try to try to determine what lows and what highs I should use for the fib tool. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin for targets to the downside, for potential entry, buying more Bitcoin or entering on a swing trade or maybe even a day trade. It's definitely going to be this level right here between 25 and 24k, and maybe even higher around 25.5 based on the second fib, based on the reload zone of the second fib. Now, what would invalidate this? Well, the invalidation would be a breakout above 29k. That would invalidate that whole idea. Let me zoom in so you guys can see more clearly here what I'm actually doing. So a break above the 29k region, that would invalidate that idea, and a break below 24k, 23, 24k, that would definitely invalidate the buy to the lower. So what I'm waiting for is confirmation down here and around the top here. Now, if that idea isn't validated, we have another idea to look at, and that would be a breakout and a retest of this level. And we could also put a fib on. Let's just say that this current candle is just going to break straight through. For some reason, we break straight through this level, and we might see something like this. So let's anticipate using the fib. Now, I'm not predicting anything here. This is a really bad way of predicting where price action might go, but you can try to make an idea and say that if price reaches this level, we are going to enter inside the reload zone, which is here. So I'm just trying to anticipate where the possible high of a possible breakout move will be based on where the fib will be, or where the RLZ will be based on that breakout move. So if the reload zone, so if the 50% is going to be confluent with the 29k area, that means that the low of the reload zone is going to be right below that. So this is just perfect, right? So what we might see is a breakout move here, and then a rejection and a move lower down to perhaps that area. That would be absolutely perfect. And that would be the trade that would take me up towards the higher resistance area. And also notice how the extension reload zone is also confluent with the minus 0.786 is in perfect confluent with the lower part of that resistance area. So that would be the swing long based on the reclaim of the 29k area for Bitcoin. All right, let me know if you have any questions on Bitcoin, and I will cover that later. Now let's take a look at the questions that we had in the RLZ trading room. And if you want me to do longer segments on Bitcoin in the future live streams, just let me know and hit the like button if you do like these live streams and you want to see more like this one. All right, so let's go to the community, see if we have any interesting stuff going on right here. So the first thing I want to do, and this is something I do on a daily basis, I go through questions from the program students right here, and you will see that I have a couple of questions from Crypto Khalifa right here, and he's asking, would this be a valid setup on audio? So that's an altcoin. That's perfect because we're gonna look at altcoins after. So he says that monthly open and weekly open are obviously not in great positions. Would this stop you from taking the trade? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Crypto Khalifa's chart right here, and then we're gonna be looking at. So we have another questions here. Also, what about ENG? So let's take a look at the audio and ENG, and we're going to be answering that question. Is this a valid setup using the RLZ method? So you have a good looking trend. It's a good looking trend right here. You have a low. Could argue that that is a high and a low, but I would probably just say that that's a low, that's the high, and that's the low, that's the high, and now this is the low. Price is hitting the 0.618 right here, confluent with the 4-hour 20 EMA, and stochastics is below, basically in the right location. So that's, when it comes to the stochastics RSI, it's three things we'll look for. It's number one is location. Number two is, what's number two? Man, I'm completely brain retarded. Number three is the stochastics, RSI cross. Maybe it's just two. Holy shit! Like it should be three. Man, never mind. So stochastic RSI is in the right. Yeah, okay, three. So one is location. Stochastic RSI location should be in this case below 30, and then number two is a possible rounded structure on the stochastics, and then number three is a bull cross or a bear cross. If you have all those three, it's a rounded bottom in the right location with a cross. That's like perfect with the stochastic RSI. But here, the number one, the first part of the stochastic RSI confluence is in confluent, which basically means it's in the right location, and that is good enough if everything else align. but in this occasion right here, we see that the weekly open is not in the right position. Why is the weekly open not in the right position? Well, it's because if you look at this chart here, you'll see that if you're going to enter on the, so basically what we want to do here is we want to see a bounce on the 0.618 and then get like a break and retest up to 50. But now, if you're entering right on the 50, you're basically buying right below the weekly open, which is a highly likely the weekly open will be used as resistance. I'm seeing something like this: hit the weekly open, hit the 50, hit the weekly open, move lower. So because of the fact that the weekly open is so close to the 50, I might actually wait for a reclaim of the weekly open and base this trade. And you can also see that the trend line agrees with that as well. So maybe something like that, and then reclaim the weekly open, buy on the reclaim of the weekly open if the risk to reward is good enough to have the stop loss below the low that created this wick right here, and then TP1 around those highs. So that's how I would play this. If weekly open would be maybe up here, that would be different. But the weekly and monthly open is definitely two of the least important indicators of the system, but still can create problems. So for this trade here, I think everything aligns quite nicely except the weekly open. If we didn't have the weekly open here, we could definitely use the monthly open as our TP1, which would be great. And the beautiful thing here is never mind, it's not beautiful. Right, so audio, that's a good idea, but honestly not sure what I would do with the weekly open. You just have to make a decision here, and I would recommend that when you're trading this and when you're journaling this and when you're taking trades based on this system, enter the trades in your journal and then mark if it's if the weekly open is used as support or resistance. Like take notes on all of this, and then after a couple of months you can actually track the results and see if ignoring the weekly open is a good thing or not. And most of the time, from my own experience, you'll see that ignoring the weekly open is not a very good idea. Next one is ENG. What's the idea here? Now, this is different. This is very different. So first of all, this low is a little bit too low. Now, if this 4-hour candle would close below here, that whole fib is invalidated. As soon as you have a 4-hour candle closing below the 0.786, the whole fib is invalidated. A lot of people say that it can when it goes below the one, it's invalidated. But I want price to go down here, because even if it doesn't hit that low perfectly, it's still kind of like a break in structure and a double bottom, which I'm not interested in trading. So here you would see that a rounded bottom inside the reload zone and then a break and retest up to 50 aligns much better, because now the weekly open is actually confluent with the 0.618. And the fact that the weekly open is confluent with the 0.618 might actually make this the decent opportunity to enter early on a break and retest of the 0.618 instead of the 50, because of the fact that weekly open adds a lot of confidence to the 0.618. I wouldn't recommend that. Well, I would recommend to try it out and experiment with that, but this is the way I'm trading it. I want to say around the bottom inside the reload zone and then a break and retest of the 50. What's stochastic RSI doing here? Stochastic RSI is in the right location, has a round the bottom. It has multiple back crosses, bull crosses, but I wouldn't really see that I wouldn't say that's valid because it's crisscrossing quite a lot. So that's how I will play this. Now let's actually take a look at these two live. So the first one we had was audio. Audio USDT. Audio USDT. So let's go back and see where was the fib placement at. So the fib placement was from that low right there. So that was the fib placement, and definitely valid. That fib is definitely still valid. It looks really good from I really like this actually. And this whole zone Yeah, this looks good. So actually, because of the fact that the 4-hour 20 EMA is conflict with the 0.618, this might actually be an opportunity to have or try out one of those alternative immediate entry trades where you have an immediate entry where the trade is confirmed inside the reload zone, and that's where you enter. So the confirmation of this, and this would also be a strong long signal on the RLZ slingshot indicator. You would most likely have a long signal if this closes as a bullish engulfing candle. And if this candle closes as a bullish engulfing candle, I would definitely enter. Well, I wouldn't because I'm not trading that way, but I would definitely recommend trying that out to enter on a break and retest of the 0.618. I might actually do that. It's looking pretty good. So I will put an alert right here. Let's take a look at ENG as well. ENG. Yeah, as you can see right here, it went below the reload zone. It's now a double bottom. It completely invalidated this whole structure because this was the uptrend, and the fact that when you broke below that one, you completely broke the structure. So not a trade, but it could have been a pretty good trade. So next up, we want to look at I want to look at this trade idea that we had the other day on clay. So I posted a long trade on clay, which looked absolutely amazing. I really liked how this looked. So let's take a look at that one. This is the trade when posted. So we had a beautiful strong long signal here on clay using the RLZ slingshot indicator, and it looked really good. It looked really good. But then I decided to exit yesterday at around 6. So yesterday at around 6, I decided to exit this trade. And let's take a look at that. Around 6, which would be around here. So that trade was around, I'd say, a half an hour loser, somewhere around this area. And as you can see, this idea is completely invalidated. So the first thing that happened was we had that long signal, and we then got filled here, and price started moving higher, exactly as it should have been, right? But then price moved back down to entry. So where was this trade invalidated? I would actually say that as soon as price broke below these lows right here was when the trade got invalidated, because you do have a long signal here. So you have a break, a retest, and breakout, and then another retest higher. But as soon as price started breaking lower, it definitely invalidated the whole setup. So we can try to see if we can use the replay function here, the replay tool in TradingView to kind of follow this trade candle by candle. Let me just remove that one. Right, so that's let's see. That's the long signal. Looks really good. I like it. Put in long orders. We got filled right there, and it moves higher. Now this is exactly where we want to be, right? This looks really good. So we're in profit. I'm thinking at this point, maybe just a couple of ticks higher, and we will hit that TP1 so we can move stops to entry. But now it moves lower. It's still not invalidated. You can definitely see that the trend is very much alive, something like this, right? But that is a lower high. And if this creates, if we have a move lower, like breaking these lows, we have a complete change in behavior and change in structure. And that's what happened here. So this is where I should have exit the trade. But I think I exited a little bit lower. But yeah, that's where the trade got invalidated. So I don't think we could have gotten out that entry here. I think it would have been best to. I mean, there's definitely a trend line going here, but I think I would still have been in this. I would actually have closed this below when it broke below these lows right here. Let's take a look at some altcoins. And by the way, guys, if you're in the RLZ trading community, don't forget to go to the announcement channel where we are currently running a trading competition on Prime XBT, and you have the chance to win prizes worth up to 3,000 USD, and it's actually in cash. So the winner will win $250 in cash. Number two will win $150 in cash, and number three will win $100 in cash. And you will also get 10 people will get a 1 month access to the trading room, and 5 people will get access to the RZ slingshot indicator, and also one winner from the top three will gain a 2 months access to the RLZ trading community, which is my advanced trading course, which is a live interactive webinar style of course. That's a 2 month long program to teach you how to trade the system and also how to develop your own system. So go to the RLZ slingshot or the RLZ trading Discord, go to the announcement channel and sign up to the competition. You definitely don't want to miss that one. I'm going to be in there as well with you guys doing the competition. All right, let's take a look at some altcoins. So let's go to the green list. Here we have, I'm just going to go through this list right here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go through the altcoins on Prime XBT. And I want to make sure that the slingshot indicator doesn't have the fib settings on, because it's loading a little bit slower if I do have that on. So what I want to do is I want to go through this list, and while going through the list, and at the end we have Bitcoin and Ethereum and that sort of stuff. So what I want to do is I want to kind of get an idea of what the local trend looks like, because I do think that looking at altcoins and looking at the trend that altcoins are in, we can try to kind of determine what the state of the crypto market is as well. And we have to understand that Bitcoin is currently trading at resistance. It is looking like, I mean, it looks good. Looks like it potentially wants to break above that weekly open. So it looks fairly interesting. But if you look at altcoins, what we want to see is a trend with basically, higher highs and higher lows. We don't want to see something like this, right? And this is exactly what we're seeing on Tesos right here. Well, actually, we're seeing Tesos is here right now. So we have a break in structure, break in behavior. It's not a confirmed break in market structure because you need to see that first. We don't have that yet. So let's see if we can try to find create a bias for where we think altcoins are heading in the near-term future. That's a break in structure. Ripple is basically just ranging. This is you can't really make anything out of this. XMR Monero is looking very good. So we have a strong resistance here. I mean, very good is an exaggeration, but we definitely have a strong resistance area right here. And if we can break out here, I'm going to be adding a alert right here. If XMR can break out here, we do have some very interesting moves possibly going to happen on Monero, because it would also be a possible high time frame break in structure. So definitely something to watch. You can see right here as well, I have this marked as orange because that's in my orange list, and the most interesting altcoins I will be moving to the orange list. So let's look at XLM. Now it's this trend is actually, the local trend actually looks quite good. I actually do like it. It still has the higher highs and higher lows, and all we need to see from XLM is a move above the weekly and monthly open, just like that. So I'm going to be keeping an alert right here as well. I'm actually also going to move that to the orange list. Right, so we have VeChain, break of structure, Uni, not really looking good. I want those clean charts with a clean structure. Sol actually looks pretty good. Let's move that to the orange list as well. SHIB, didn't really expect anything else. This looked really bad. Sand is in somewhat of a bullish market structure. This actually looks quite interesting. If we put the fib on from that low to that high, we'll see that it's also hitting the reload zone and could also be reclaiming the 50% fib here as well. So I'm just going to quickly go through the list, and I'm going to be adding a couple of altcoins to the orange list to see if we have anything interesting going on. And when I have that orange list, we will go through the orange list. I can remove clay, but I have to journal that first. Let's see. FTM looks good. Ethereum actually looks pretty good. About to print a long signal as well. So let's move that to the orange list. EOS is looking very good. AVAX is interesting as well. So we have quite a few altcoins that are still giving us somewhat of a bullish market structure, and they look quite strong. So we're going to be... Right, so now we have a orange list with altcoins, which is these ones below. Let's start with Mana. So Mana is inside the reload zone right now, but it has a obvious resistance area to the upside. So what needs to happen for Mana is to bounce inside the reload zone right here and then break above that level, probably hit that zero. But now we will have to add a new fib when that happens. So when this fib happens here, we will have to add a new fib from that low to that high, and you'll see that the 50 then aligns perfectly with that level. So this is what I'm looking at on Mana. That would be the idea on Mana. Now, obviously, the probability of this playing out exactly like I've written here or drawn here is very low. But if it does happen, I'm going to be taking a trade based on that analysis. XMR. Well, on XMR, like I said, I just have an alert here. I'm waiting for the breakout and a possible reclaim of the 155 area for a move higher. Link is in somewhat of a strong trend, but I'm keeping an alert right here as well because I just want to see a break and retest of this level, and I would then probably trade it up to the 8.2 region up here. XLM would also used to be wanting to see a break above this area and a break and retest. Sol is in a somewhat of a strong trend as well, but a break and retest of this level needs to happen as well, and there's a pretty obvious horizontal level. So you see, this is very simple. The way I'm trading, and especially the way I'm trading altcoins, is very, very simple. You just try to determine a trend, look for horizontal support and resistances, and just look for a break and retest of a horizontal level in that trend. And then when you're going to enter, that entry zone needs to be confluent with the RLZ method, and the slingshot indicator will most likely give you a long signal when that happens. All you have to do is you have to check the long signal to make sure that it kind of fits with the system and the horizontal levels. It's very, very simple, and I have a lot of alerts set up. So this is all based on alerts. Everything in this list right here, all the altcoins, they all have the alerts on them. So what happens is whenever there's an alert, you will have the alerts being sent to the Discord server, and that's my market scanning tool. I don't really like, if it wasn't for the live streams, I wouldn't be doing this scanning, obviously, because the indicator does most of the scanning for me. FTM is in a strong trend, but it needs to reclaim that weekly open area. So I'm putting an alert a little bit higher. Ethereum is perhaps about to give a long signal, but that fib placement, I mean, you have to have fib all the way down here. So I don't know. That's risky. So I'm going to be removing Ethereum here. Let's look at EOS. Good looking uptrend right here. I do like what I'm seeing. This is it's a fairly interesting trend right here. A break and retest of this level right here would definitely be interesting for possible trade. There's a double bottom here though, so it might break lower because that's changing behavior. But yeah, if it breaks out and retests that level, I'm definitely going to go long. And I like this as well. However, the daily moving averages are a bit close to price. I'm removing that from the list. And then we have AVAX, which is definitely interesting, putting an alert above the weekly open for break and retest of that level. Removing some lines here that I'm not using. And then finally, we have ADA. I mean, the slingshot indicator gave us some insanely strong signals right here on 88 a while back, and unfortunately, I missed that trade. I do know that a couple of members in the community did take that trade and that alert, so congratulations to you guys. On 88, I'm just gonna put an alert up here. That's what I'm watching. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 potential altcoin setups and altcoin trades that I'm watching in the crypto market. And this, like, these are all long signals. So it's all dependent on what Bitcoin is going to do. Is the short on Bitcoin USDT or BTC USD on Bitstamp? Probably Bitstamp. Right. So all of these long signals on the altcoins are all based on if Bitcoin can break and retest the weekly open, or that, move higher. If Bitcoin hits resistance here and moves lower, all the altcoin setups are basically invalidated. All right, that's it for the altcoin analysis. Now let's look at the Forex pairs for about 10 minutes, and then after that we're going to do questions. If you do have any questions about anything, if you need help with anything, if there's anything in your trading that you feel isn't working the way you want it to work, let me know, and I will gladly help you out in the last 10 minutes of the webinar. Maybe you want some more information on where to place your stop losses. Maybe you get stopped out quite often and then price hitting TP, and there's actually a lot of things you can do, very easy things you can do to help you with that, or risk management, whatever. Let me know. Right, man, I love water. I love coffee as well. I actually love coffee more than water. No, water's good. I really like water. I love water. What am I doing? Forex market analysis. Okay. So these are the, holy fuck me, god damn it, Euro GBP is not where I want it to be. So what's happening right now with Euro GBP? So we took this trade. I took this trade earlier. Now we have the economic sentiment or economic projections, whatever it's called, and I'm going to look at which one is it? I got so many tabs open, I don't even know which one it is. Is it this one? No. Where do I have the news? That's market update. Yeah, it's this one. Right. So here's the economic news calendar. Let's put that up as well. So today we had the at 11. Go update this every time. Right. So we had the SEV, let's just say SEV, Economic Sentiment Index. Previous forecast, it's lower than expected. Both of these lower than expected, which means that I'm not gonna go. No way I'm gonna go into details on that. It's gonna take forever. But anyway, it doesn't really matter what it means, because we can clearly see what it means by looking at the chart right here. So we can look at Euro GBP is moving higher, Euro USD is moving higher, Euro NCD is moving higher. So obviously it's bullish for the Euro. We have a question here. Hey Libs, what tips would you give someone who has a system but has resistance to trade it because of the inevitable losing trade? I have a great suggestion, great tip for that. I will cover it right after the Forex analysis part here. It's a great question. Any more questions like that, please feel free to ask. That's a great question. So yeah, bullish for Euro, which is bad for our Euro GBP trade. Now, the reason, like right before this event, I moved stop loss here above the monthly open, and you see this TP1 right here. That was not TP1. That was not the level I had when posting this trade. But now, seeing this price action, I decided to, you know what, I have to raise, because TP1 was originally here. So I'm like, I got to raise that TP1 a little bit higher. It never got hit. So this is obviously, as you can see right here, it's open. So I'm hoping that, because the idea would be here to move stops to entry. But as you can see right here, price moved straight up to, why is it loading this slow? So price moved straight up to entry and is now using that level as resistance. And this is kind of like what I thought would happen, because like if you look at the trend here, let's remove everything so it becomes, a little bit cleaner. If you look at the trend here, there's nothing bullish about this trend. I don't think there's a lot of bullishness going on here. I mean, yeah, you could say that there's like an overall double bottom maybe here, like hit that support, now it's hitting another support and kind of around it. But overall, I don't think this trend is broken until you perhaps see something like this. And this is where we're going to get stopped out. That's why I didn't want to have my stops right here, which is basically a support area. Now I'm thinking I'm probably going to get stopped out on this one, and that's going to suck because I haven't had the best trading month. I can't show you the journal because I have 7 trades that I haven't journaled, and I think actually because of the fact that I haven't journaled all my trades might be one of the reasons why trading hasn't been going that well, because I'm procrastinating entering trades to the journal, which means I haven't been, looking at the journals, looking at the details of the trade too closely, which is obviously not a good thing. So let's move everything back. So that's Euro GBP. It's still open, but probably going to hit that stop loss. I will not close this trade though. NCD JPY. Again, this has not hit TP1. I did the same for Euro GBP. Made a mistake here. Had the TP1 too low. I should have had the TP1 based on the this lower time frame fib right here. So yeah, that's definitely a mistake on my end, but I'm keeping this trade open, and it is what it is. I'm looking at the calendar, and I'm hoping that I'm just hoping that we can get all I need. I'm down 1%, so all I need is one winner, like one winner to be in profit, and then one more winner to be like in good profit. And I really do hope I can turn this month around and end it as a profitable month, because that would mean that I think the last 4 or 5 months are profitable. So it would be really nice to just continue that monthly winning streak. But it's been tough. It's been really tough lately, because I just feel like at least I'm not making mistakes because of this. So usually what can happen in a situation like this is you get frustrated because trading isn't going well. You're not getting a lot of good setups. You're missing a lot of setups. So what you're going to do is, like for me, one of the most obvious thing I did in the beginning when I started trading was, I didn't find a lot of trades. Trading was quite frustrating. And, during times when there's not a lot of good trades, I started looking at the lower time frames. I started trying to develop scalping systems to kind of fill the void for the scenarios where I didn't have a lot of trades. But now I'm just waiting for the good opportunities to come along. I'm waiting for the good times to come back, which happens. I mean, in a year, you're probably going to have like 2 or 3 months in a year, which will be just very boring, but the rest of the month will be profitable, and some of the months will be very profitable. So if you look at the whole year, you're actually quite profitable, but it's really hard to remember that when you're in a month with very low trades. So these are actually all the trades that I have not journaled, or all these setups that have not journaled yet. But let's go through this orange list to see if we can find anything interesting. GBP NCD is very interesting. We're going to like this looks really good, right? A break and retest here would be beautiful. So what I'm watching for GBP NCDs is the move down to the reload zone right here at the 50, and that would be the trade on GBP NCD. CHF JPY, this was a trade we got stopped out at entry, which I'm very happy that we got stopped at entry, because this was a complete disaster. Look at that break of the whole trend. So obviously this is not interesting, but I have to keep that on because I have to journal it. NCD CHF, this was also a trade that we got stopped out from, which, it kind of looks like, well, now it's actually turning back. NCD looks very, very bearish, and I'm short NCD, but I'm short NCD JPY, and JPY is also not the it's looking pretty weak. So I'm short the wrong NCD pair, that's for sure. So no trade on NCD CHF, AD CAD. I mean USD CAD, no trade on USD CAD, AD USD. Well, we do have a possible short trade here on AD USD, but it's just, I don't know, it's quite choppy, so I'm not really sure about that one. AD NCD, I'm pretty sure we got stopped out at entry on this one. Yeah, did we? I have to check that out. No, all right, and we never entered this one because it never triggered our setup, so we never entered that one. So actually, I actually remove that one. So let's continue here. We got USD JPY. It's a very strong downtrend, so we definitely want to short this. Euro AD. I'm not really liking the trend, but maybe if we can get I'm not liking this trend because this whole move was kind of invalidated that whole uptrend. But if we could get something like this, I might be interested in trading maybe that bounce in, I guess, just a couple of weeks. AD CAD breaking down, but not really going to be a short setup. GBP USD obviously looks very, very interesting. Same with GBP NCD. So we have GBP NCD and GBP USD looks good for potential longs in the next couple of days. Gold is, this looks interesting. Gold is about to hit an interesting level right here, which is comfortable with a horizontal level and the reload zone in the 50s. So this looks really good. I'm going to be adding an alert right here on gold. Silver is, I would rather trade gold here actually. NCD CAD completely breaking down. That's not going to be a trade on NCD CAD. The trade idea was this, right? Break and retest of the 50. That would have been the trade on NCD CAD. GBP AD, like it. I like the trend. Maybe something like this. I don't know. Maybe lower here. Probably something like that on GBP AD. Euro CAD. There's a lot of interesting moves right here. And then tomorrow we have the FOMC, which is obviously going to be maybe changing everything. GBP CAD. We now have another breakout on GBP CAD. So as you can see, it's like I'm just going through the charts. I'm just looking at the exact same setup, the exact same structure, looking for trends and trying to find good break and retest areas. AD NCD actually looks like it could be a massive high time frame bullish break in market structure right here. So that's definitely something to watch out for. Right. So let's go through that question before we end the live stream. So what tips would I give to someone who has a system but has resistance to trade it because of the inevitable losing trades? Okay, so what you need to do is you need to get the book Trading in the Zone. All right, so the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. You can find it on Spotify as an audiobook. You can find it on YouTube as an audiobook, and you probably, if you Google for it, you can probably find it as a PDF as well to download. What you will learn in that book is to have the mindset as a trader, just like a casino runs their trading operations. And this is only the beginning of understanding how all this works. And there's a lot of practical things you should take into consideration as well, which I will cover. But read that book, and he will help you understand that every individual trade has a completely random outcome. So the next trade has nothing to do with the previous trade. And if you take your trading journal, let's say you have 100 trades, and then you pick up one of those trades and you ask yourself, what's the probability of this trade hitting target? Well, it's 50-50. You take another one, you look at that, and the probability of that hitting a profit is 50-50. Every trade on an individual basis has a 50-50 chance of being a winner or a loser. But then if you look at every trade in your journal, all the 100 trades in the journal, you're going to see that it has a statistical advantage. It has some sort of edge of your system, because you can see that you have a certain win rate and a certain risk to reward. And with that win rate and that combination of risk to reward, you will be on the long run profitable or not profitable. But if you have a system that you've been backtesting and you know it works, you should just stick to that system and accept every trade as a losing trade. So there's a few things you have to think about here. What are you risking when you're taking a trade? You can risk a lot of different things. I mean, the obvious thing is, risking money. So how much money are you risking on the trade? Maybe you're risking too much. Maybe you're risking more money than you can afford to lose. I would recommend in that case to risk basically nothing. Risk the amount that you do not feel, that you don't have any feelings attached to. I mean, if you lose $1 on a trade, would that be okay? Probably. If you lose $10 on a trade, would that be okay? Probably. If you lose $10,000 on a trade, would that be okay? Probably not. So you have to find that risk level which you are comfortable with. Just a risk level that you think, if I lose this trade, it really does not matter. And when you reach that target, you slowly but surely increase the risk level that you are comfortable with, because the truth is that 1% of your trading capital might be too much, right? You might be risking too much. You might not be comfortable with risking 1% of your trading capital. So risk 0.2 or 0.25 instead, and find that comfortable risk level. And then the most important thing is backtesting. The absolute most important thing is backtesting. So what I recommend you do first is read the book, Trading in the Zone. Find the risk level in dollar value that you are comfortable with. And then also think about, maybe you're risking something else. Maybe you're risking a reputation. Maybe you're trading publicly like I'm doing, and you're posting trades on Twitter, and like you have people following you and all that. Like I'm risking, I have had to accept the fact that, yeah, if I have a massive losing streak and I'm just losing a lot of money, and everyone that's following me are losing money with me, and everyone's like, I have to accept the risk of just getting ridiculed, right? And I have to accept that that doesn't matter. Like that doesn't affect me, because I'm just following my system like a machine, and I have to accept that. And maybe, like I said, you're afraid of all the inevitable losing trades. Maybe that's what you're risking as well. You're putting too much emphasis on the losing trades, and that will be what you're risking. So maybe in your case, the dollar value doesn't really matter much, and you have to really ask yourself on a deep emotional level, what are you actually risking, and what are you actually afraid of? And to help you understand that, meditation is great. 10-minute meditation every day, and just sit quietly, think about these things. And when you have envision yourself having a losing streak. Envision yourself having, losing 10 trades in a row. How would that make you feel? And accept that feeling and let that feeling grow and become friends with that feeling, because that's a feeling you have to accept. That's a feeling you have to become friends with. You have to really become friends with you have to visit some really dark places of your own psyche to accept the risk to be a trader. And then it comes to backtesting. When you're backtesting a system, if the backtesting is profitable, it tells you that the system you are trading is profitable. And the more you backtest, the the more price action you look at, the more historic price action, the more historic price data you look at, and the more profitable the backtesting will be, the more confident you will be in the system. And being confident in your system as a trader is very important, because if you're not comfortable and confident in your system, you're not going to get through the losing streaks. Because if you're not 100% sure that your setup is working and your system is working, how are you going to accept a losing period? Because statistically, I think if you have a 50% win rate and you have 100 trades, and if you think that every trade is exactly the same with all the same variables, the chances of having a losing streak, like a five times losing streak over 100 trades, I think that's like 60% or something like that. So you're more likely than not to have losing streak. And if you have below 50% win rate, that percentage goes up to 80. And when you have like 200 trades and you're below 50% win rate, I think the statistics say that you're like a 80% chance or 70 to 80% chance of having 10 losing trades in a row. So it's going to happen. You just have to accept the fact, and you have to have a risk management strategy to battle that. And when you have a good risk management strategy, which could be like after 4 losing streak, you cut the risk in like half, and then you cut it in half again, and you're not going to bring it back to 1% risk until you have like 2 winners in a row to make sure you're out of that losing streak. But really, if it's like one thing that you can do today, it's get the book Trading in the Zone and start backtesting. And if you sign up to my newsletter, you will actually be able to get, and it's completely free. Signing up to the newsletter is completely free. You will get a link to the backtesting template, and I'm actually going to send you the link in the chat as well. And I can just quickly show you how it works and how to use it in the most simplest way. Let me first just try to see if I can find it. Actually, no, I'll send the link to the backtesting template, and in the backtesting template, there will be a link to a YouTube video, and check out that YouTube video. And in that YouTube video, you will have instructions on how to use the backtesting template. And I promise you, it's like that's going to solve most of your problems, because when you've backtested your system for extensive amount of time and on a lot of pairs, you will get back that confidence that you need as a trader. Without that confidence, or confidence, I think, that's the name, right? Word. When you get that back, it's going to be much easier to handle the losing periods. Right. So that's the link in the comments to the YouTube channel. And yeah, that's it. I think I'm done with the webinar today. So let me know if you like the structure. So exactly 1 hour, and we've gone through the Bitcoin chart, we've gone through altcoins, and gone through Forex, and also in every single one of these webinars, I also want to do a educational piece like this one with your most requested questions. And if you like this, please leave a comment and like the video, so that I know that I'm going to do more than this. Also, not more than this, but more of this. Tomorrow at 19, when the FOMC meeting is, whenever that is, tomorrow evening my time, I will be live on Prime XPT Academy's channel. We're going to be covering the FOMC meeting together with 2 other traders or influencers, which is, I think one is called Nat Crypto Queen something, and the other one is some German dude from a crypto magazine, German crypto magazine. Anyway, great show last time. So it's gonna be the same people again, and I really did enjoy that one last time, and we did cover some very important aspect of trading. And Dirk Hartig, which is the guy behind the Prime SP Academy, is a very seasoned, been in the market for 25 years. He's been trading since very long time back, and he really knows a lot about trading. So definitely recommend checking that out tomorrow. All right, guys, take care and see you guys in the next one, and also in the trading community. Take care.